Welcome, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Goodman, Director of Marketing and Development for the YMCA of Northwest Louisiana. We're here at 318 Latino Studios for Shreveport-Bossier, my city, my community, my home. And I'm super excited to have today's guest. It's Ben Whalen. So Ben, thanks for being here.
Man, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you making the time.
Oh, no doubt.
Look forward to hopping in your world. So I'll jump into my questions with you. Like many of our local entrepreneurs, I think this is right. If I get anything wrong, feel free to correct me. But like many of our local entrepreneurs, you first made a name for yourself at the Shreveport Farmers Market.
Yeah, for sure.
You have intentionally and patiently grown a community around your brand and your products. What I'd like you to do is to talk to me about how you view building community and some words of wisdom you would give other entrepreneurs about creating a demand around your product.
Absolutely. So first and foremost, super excited to be here. Any opportunity to provide some introspection to my world, I really appreciate and honor the moment. So thank you for having me. So kind of where we started, you mentioned the farmers market. We kind of when I started out, my vision was with a grassroots approach, small, little to no marketing budget, was to be just kind of as grassroots and organic as possible. So things like the farmers market, pop-up shops, and some businesses that are in alignment with what my vision and my goal was for my business. So very early on, I was very graciously accepted by some other businesses like Well Fed and the Agora Borealis and Drug Emporium, all of which were very pivotal and critical in my early on development of my brand. So being able to
let me interrupt. So what year are we talking? Like,
yeah.
When are we first at the farmers market?
Sure. So my first year at the farmers market was actually 2019. However, I started developing the brand with these pop-ups in 2017.
Okay.
I would say probably around October of 2017, June of 2017, WellFed had their big celebration of their opening in their store, and they allowed me to come and do a pop-up. At the time, I was living in Chicago, and I started the brand after getting laid off in April. So, just to provide couple extra layers of how this all came to be. I was living in Chicago. I had a corporate job. I had been there since 2010.
But grew up here, was a magnet grad.
Yes, sir.
Caddo Magnet High grad, a Louisiana Tech grad. So
yeah. You're
from this area, but you had gone to Chicago.
Yeah. So just like a lot of folks that, grow up, go through the school system here in Shreveport, I know a lot of people tend to, boomerang, right? We leave, we go off, either go off to college or we get a job. And then a lot of the folks that are here today, I think of like Gregory Kallenberg, who, brought the Prize Fest here. I was inspired by folks like him, and, we're still working to actualize the vision of being at that volume and that scale. But got a job in Chicago, was super excited to test myself in a different market, life, being on my own, making myself available to whatever experiences come my way. And Chicago really helped nurture me into the person that I am today. I got exposed to a lot, which really played a role in what I wanted to do with myself. And that was to do something in, natural goods, handmade goods, artisanry. I mean, it's all over the place there, and as enchanting as it can be, seeing it at your fingertips and everything, there was a strong desire to bring it back to my community. And the nudge was in early 2017, getting laid off of my corporate job that had been my comfort security blanket. Ever since I was a kid, I had some entrepreneurial, endeavors as a youth. My mom and tell the story of me, going to school with a backpack full of CDs and selling CDs at school, Pokemon cards, whatever the case may be. I always like to be, sharing and, communicating and playing with the kids at school, but I also like the trading and the selling and the collecting. And so that was fun. But getting the opportunity to actually explore entrepreneurship was really a gift. You know, it hurt a lot to be laid off the job. And I think that there was a lot of emotions, some of which really played strongly in my desire to just be on my own with a business for a change. So packed up my bags, moved back to Shreveport, and decided to just really start off with very little in terms of the brand exposure. Really, it was interesting. You know, when you start a business, for me, it was like, all right, I got 4,000 Facebook customers, 4,000 potential customers, you know.
And when you say 4,000 Facebook customers, we're saying at that point you had 4,000 Facebook friends.
Friends, yeah, like my personal Facebook friends.
Yeah. I'm going to tap my network first. That's where I'm going to start.
Yep. And, you know, it was very humbling very fast, you know, like, okay, everybody's not your customer, right? So you had mentioned in your question, like, what I would say to aspiring entrepreneurs or other people: do not be afraid to test entrepreneurship. Some people do what I did, which was, you know, I kind of had an opportunity, whether it was to work on my resume and get back in the job pool or pursue entrepreneurship. I decided to go full-fledged in, but there's just so many ways and there's tons of resources. I would tell you to, you know, identify a need, what it is that you're passionate about. Find a need that you can align your desire with, and then do your research. Hopefully you're in a position where, you know, you might either have some startup capital or you've got a job that you can approach entrepreneurship with some I won't say conservatively, but just systematically and strategically. You know, for me, it was very much just learning on the fly, flying by the seat of my pants. Like, wherever you'll have me, I'll set up with a tablecloth, put some products on the shelf, and I'm learning how to sell, because I really, you know, I had some natural sales capacity, but I had no formal training.
So let me ask you, so how does one, because you've done this, how does one, I know it's different for everyone, but how does one make the decision that, okay, I feel established enough in the pop-up world to go brick and mortar and to take that leap?
Yeah. So, I mean, it was really faith, man, to be honest. You know, I've learned so much that, you know, it's never going to feel like picture perfect. You're never really going to know. I mean, even today, you know, we're looking at options and opportunities in front of us, and the stars are never going to just like align perfectly, you know. It's a leap of faith. You know, whenever I decided to do the brick and mortar, my experience was one where I had no true relevant metrics as to what it was going to be like. We're here on Crockett Street. Well, right now we're on Market Street, but, you know, right down the road is where our retail shop is located. And it's a nice area. We're in a really nice building. We're the only retail component in the building. So, you know, we didn't have metrics within that structure to kind of go off of as to what it would be like.
And were you were part of the original, because we're going to talk in a little bit about where you are exactly in the Andress Art and Entrepreneur Center. Is that Artist and Entrepreneur Center? Were you part of the original opening of that new center? Like when it opened, were you there, or did you come after it was open? Yeah,
that's a great question. So when the Andress Artist and Entrepreneur Center opened, I was in a standalone production center on Kansas City Boulevard, just off North Market. And what we did is we occupied an office space in the Andress very shortly after the open, if not at the open. That's a timeline that's a little hazy. But we didn't have a store. We had an office upstairs. My fiance, Haley, and I occupied a space there. And it was really a place for us to go and, you know, perform administrative duties, get away from the hustle and bustle of the production space. And then what we slowly did was we moved our production out of our space on Kansas City into the Andress building, producing in the artist studio spaces in the rear on the base floor, and then slowly started to build out the retail store in the front. So it was an incremental development, so to speak. So I was there in some capacity at the grand opening of the Andress, but not in the capacity that I am now.
Okay, and the reason I was asking that is because it's hard to have metrics. Not only were you a new brick and mortar, but you're a new brick and mortar in a new brick and mortar.
Yeah,
you're going to be a new space in a new space.
Yeah, for sure.
So you once said, I'm going to pull a quote from you. You once said, a lot of people are struggling with skincare issues, eczema, psoriasis, rosacea. So our natural skincare products, like our body butter and our face care products, are really popular. Tell me, if you could, about the different products that you're currently offering and making.
Yeah, no, that's a great quote. We're not clinicians. What we do is we're fueled by the feedback and the response that our customers give us. So, when I originally made our body butters, it was really just a labor of love. I mean, I formulated those in my apartment in Chicago, while I had the job, and I was still working corporately. I was, expelling almond oil, and it was just really, just something I was doing as a hobby. After getting laid off my job, that's when I started exploring it in a more serious manner. But in testing these products, giving them away, selling them, the feedback that I got from people was really, really strong, and which allowed me to look at, my ingredients and like, oh, well, how can I tweak these? How can I make them better in certain ways to make them more conducive to providing relief for some of these topical skincare issues? And, over the years, our product catalog has evolved and it's adapted to the market and to the people. My boss is the customers, right? So there's some products that we used to put a lot of attention into and we used to develop. But today, the big products that kind of come to mind when you mention that are products like our deodorant. They're 100% plant-based, no synthetic ingredients, aluminum-free, which a lot of people who are in the conscious consumer category, which a lot of people are getting in that direction. That's a big red flag for deodorants. The metals and having links to cancer and things like that. Breast cancer is a big one for a lot of my customer base. My boss is my 85% female dominant customer base. So that's something that our customers are really excited about, having a brand that they can trust, that they can see. They see me at the market, they see my team at the market, and be able to fall in love with the product, and exactly where it's made, exactly where to go and get it. It's really, really awesome. And then I have to mention our candles, just because it's literally what keeps the lights on. Even when the power goes out, we light a candle. Literally what keeps the lights on. But yeah, people are really taken well to our to that product, and it's artisanry, I guess. I'm making up a word. Handmade concrete vessels, really clean candles, ones that you can put on and you can feel good about, the quality, they're eco-safe and non-toxic. And we just really try to go the extra mile when it comes to things like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And we hit on this a little bit, but let's get a little deeper into it. So Clean Slate Botanicals, which is the name of your company, opened in the Andress Artist Entrepreneur Center in September of 2022.
Yeah.
It's an incredible space you have, and I encourage everyone listening to go visit you there. You are open at 717 or 717 Crockett Street, Mondays through Saturdays, I believe, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You also manage a great website and sell at other venues around the community. My first question was, where else in town can people find your products? You mentioned Well Fed, you mentioned Agora Borealis, you mentioned Drug Emporium. Are there other places where your products are currently for sale in the community or in this area?
Yeah. So first of all, We are really excited about the other community partners we have. Like you said, Well Fed, they've been there since the start. Agora Borealis has been there since the start. I encourage you to check out those small businesses, what they offer, as well as, the products that we offer. Those are great places to go. You can, hit two nails with one hammer, so to speak. But our store, our website, great options as well. And then wherever we are in the community, the farmers markets, the the pop-ups, the holiday markets, but some other stores, 318 Artco. It's on Southfield. Yeah, it's across from the Uptown Rhino location.
Okay.
That's another great store. Enchanted Garden, another great store. We'll be dropping off some product this week to Birdwills in Bossier. So for those of you who are listening, should have some products available at Birdwills. And we will be updating our website with all of our stores that you can visit to pick up the products.
Great. And you offer e-commerce, right, on the website?
Absolutely. So one of the great things about our site is it's a great resource for you to go and see what's going on in terms of what events we have coming up. Also, it's fantastic for looking into the products, seeing the ingredients, reading the descriptions for all the products. You can come to sort through and figure out what it is you might be interested in. But you can order from the site, and we ship anywhere in the country. Additionally, you can select local pickup on the website, and that's where you can actually, after you place your order, you'll get an email. You can just swing by, and we'll have your products bagged up and ready for you when you come by.
Great. And just along these lines, what else should I tell people who are wanting to know more about your products and services? I mean, I have a bunch of other questions, but just in terms of where to find you or where to find out more about you and about your philosophy, your approach, and what you're offering. What else should I tell people?
Yeah. Well, I encourage you to listen to this podcast because I'm about to get into it. There's a number of things that are really important to us and things that we're doing. So, we have a business-to-business catalog. These are companies who have trusted us and given us the honor to be a part of their customer appreciation, client appreciation initiatives. So wealth management companies, looking for good gifts for their clients. I think of, one of our partners, WFA, we provide them with birthday gifts every single month for their clients in exchange for, monetary value. They are gracious enough to, purchase those from us, and we ship those products out to them. What's really cool about that service that we offer is that we brand the product with their company's branding. We have design capacity in-house, so we design like a birthday card for them. So each one of their clients on their birthday gets a package at their doorstep from the company that's handmade right here in Shreveport. So that's one of the things we're doing.
And are these candles, or what are they receiving in terms of the gift itself?
Yeah, candles. Okay. Yes, sir. So, when it comes to the value that we want to offer our clients, it's really whatever needs that they identify that's within our wheelhouse. So, we make room sprays, linen sprays. We do the candles, bath salts, body butters. We have a number of different products that we produce, and all of which have the potential to be privately labeled and shipped out for our business clients. I think about over the years, we can touch on this a little bit later, but, we've made hand sanitizer, and during the pandemic, we made mask sprays, all kinds of stuff. And so we're adapting with the time. So what that list looks like in a few years, man, I'm hoping we're expanding into making even more. We have that business to business client catalog. Another thing that's really near and dear to our hearts is our, community impact component. I think about, during the pandemic, we were going through that just like everybody else as a small business, but also, personally going into the store and not being able to find any hand sanitizer, right? And, I don't know if you were privy to it during it, but we were producing that product in a pretty big scale right here in Shreveport. But my experience was going to Drug Emporium, not being able to find it, standing there between the aisles, looking up how it's made. Like, how is this thing made? And then sourcing the ingredients and putting them together. And really, it was from a personal needs perspective. But then, my dad was like, "Hey, man, you should like post this and see if people will buy it." So I got to thank him for that, because I was able to post it and meet that need. But we took it a step further, and we provided some for the police department, and we provided some to some hospitals, and then we did a nice back to school campaign where we provided a lot. Over the course of, I think it was a month or 2 months, with all the sales we had online, we donated products to the schools, to some teachers. And man, that was a lot of fun. I actually forgot about that campaign and how we did it. It was all over Facebook Live. It was kind of like a raffle, and it was just a lot of fun. I should do something like that again. But today, what we're doing is we're actively looking for more community partner opportunities. So we've got some stuff in the pipeline that we're really excited about. Last holiday, we did a fundraiser with High Gravity Glassworks for Roy's Kids. And are you familiar with Roy's Kids? Yeah. So Michelle had reached out to Michael and asked him if we could do a fundraiser, and he said yeah. And then she told me what we're gonna do. So she is a glass blower. She blew these amazing glasses, and then we poured one of our most popular Christmas candles in them, and we sold the candles and donated the proceeds to Roy's Kids. And that was just, it was just a lot of fun. There's no better opportunity whenever you're having fun with what you're doing, you're making a community impact, and multiple businesses are able to thrive, and then the community is able to be happy with the product that they receive at the end of the day, but know that they were able to help a great cause like that. So things like that, man, we really just want to continue to find great opportunities to do stuff, and we're in talks with a couple of wonderful businesses with amazing foundations, and we're just so excited to get these things underway.
I love that. I'm gonna skip a question, I think, and come back
Sure.
just because what you're saying kind of ties into this question. So
Yeah.
I hadn't really heard this term before, but talk to me a little bit about interactive retail as well as the candle pouring experience.
Oh yeah. Candle pouring experience. Looking at both cameras here. So fun. Y'all got to check it out. Interactive retail. That's not a terminology. That's not a term I use every day, but we're going to rely on those solid context clues skills that I learned at Magnet High School, and then the candle pouring experience. So what's so great about these things is you're able to give people something to do different than what they do each and every day. I mean, so many of my customers are choosing to purchase our products, choosing to support my business with their hard-earned dollars, right? And that's just like I'm forever grateful and thankful for people to be willing to come and spend their money with my business. Like, it just hits me in the heart. I mean, just starting at a table and just popping up and just trying to make a way to where we're at today and where we're headed. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for those customers that stopped by a drug emporium, well fed. So to be able to give people even more of a reason to come and step out of their week where they earned all those hard-earned dollars to do something that brings them joy, that's different, that makes them want to tell their friends. The candle pour experience has just been a gift. Like, just a tremendous gift.
So how's it work? Tell me how it works.
Tell me
what it is exactly.
So what it is people book a seat. They can order it online. They can come into our shop and book a seat. And we have certain dates, and we also offer private parties and corporate events, which we've done several for businesses. Nursing homes. The owners of the company treats their staff to it. It's been amazing. And then also some companies are doing client appreciation nights for their customers. A couple of amazing options there. But you walk through the doors, and we've got it decorated nice for you. We've got your station set up. You can choose a spot. And we have a series called Wine and Wicks Wednesdays where we offer some wine and some charcuterie. But our standard candle pour experience is, you can bring your own soda, bring whatever it is that you want. But you get to choose, you get to embark on the creative process from what vessel you're going to pour your candle in. We have a number of different vessels. The candle pouring experience comes with a vessel, so that's of no extra charge. But then we have options. You can get creative with one of our handmade concrete vessels. If you want something that was, made right here in the shop, we've got all these different colors you can choose from. We've got bigger vessels. If you want a bigger candle, it's going to last longer, you can upgrade to. And then you get to embark on the scent selection process, which is so cool and so fun because, no two people make the same candle. And it's always fun to watch. We have a menu. So we have it broken down into categories and you get to sniff and smell everything.
Categories like what?
Fruity and bright,
Okay.
Deep and musky, floral favorites, holiday. And people will take a fruity scent and they'll mix it with a holiday scent and make something that I never thought of putting together. But then we also have seasonal menus, which really is just so cool because you can come in April and then you could come back in November and have different options available to you because we have these exclusives available each season. And right now, we've got some really cool. We've got this one scent. It's called honey bourbon, and man, the stuff people are mixing with this honey bourbon scent is so cool. But you can choose multiple scents. We have these little tester sticks, and you get to wave the different scents and see how they dance together. And then you decide what you want. And then you get to then choose the ratio, which is fun too. It's like, okay, I want this and this, but do I want 80% lavender and 20% eucalyptus, or do I want 50-50? You get to really get down to make it exactly the way you want it, but you get to pour it, the scents, and then you get to pour your scents into the wax, mix it, and then pour it into your vessel. And man, so many people have just had like the most gracious things to say about the experience itself, about the fact that it's offered right here in Shreveport. And I always tell people, thank you so much for your feedback. Our mission with this is really, not only to give people something fun and creative to do here, but we want this experience to be good for anywhere. We're not interested in being good for Shreveport. We want this experience to stand up there with any candle experience that you could have in the country. So we're constantly looking for ways to elevate it. And at the end of the day, when it stops being fun, we'll stop doing it. But I don't think that's possible, man. We've been having so much fun with it.
Well, I'm coming one day. I've been to the space, but I haven't been to the experience. So I'm definitely coming.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I'd love to have you.
Absolutely. All right. So as someone who's been in the trenches, my question is, what can this community do better to support entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of people that are really doing amazing things for small businesses here in the city. I think about, and as you ask that question, I think about specific customers. I see them, supporting small businesses on a regular basis, going above and beyond to, support, go out, shop, promote and share the small businesses, which I think is amazing. It can be challenging sometimes where you go to a small business and, let's say you go to a restaurant, things aren't exactly up to the standard of service or quality that you're used to or that you expect. And I'm by no means excusing that experience. I mean, your experience is valid. But, I would just say extending a little bit of grace in those types of scenarios, offering honest feedback, good feedback is always great because, no small business I would feel is in the business of providing an inferior product, whether it's, in their customer service or in the goods that they provide. So again, we understand, we're consumers too. So we understand the value of hard-earned dollars. I mean, we spend ours just like you guys spend yours. So letting us know what your experience has been so that we can go and take every opportunity that we can to try to improve. There's a lot of community efforts. I know, like, I think about for small businesses and for entrepreneurs, like the Startup Prize. It's just such a fun experience. And I think that, it's something that we see a lot of people coming at a national level, a lot of entrepreneurs coming from all over. But, I think when I went through the Startup Prize, I might have been one of just a few from our community. So I think, promoting things like that for people that are interested in entrepreneurship is amazing. And then just using the resources that are there. The SBA, and there's just so many great things at the disposal for entrepreneurs. As a community, I think just continuing to give small business owners the love and the promoting organically, word of mouth marketing. Not everybody has the marketing budget at their disposal to string together consistent and elegant social media marketing campaigns. So little things that people can do, like offering their testimonials on social media, taking a photo of themselves with the business owners, just providing that relational component, I think is really beneficial for sure.
I love that.
Yeah.
Sharing your candle pouring experience or something along those lines.
I wasn't going to say it, but yeah. Yeah. Sharing that, we always do like a group photo just because it's so easy to do. Like everybody is smiling and it's just like elated and capturing that moment and posting it. If everybody posted and shared it, I don't doubt it would be beneficial for sure. Yeah.
So go and share, everyone out there.
Yeah, go and share.
So my last question, and after this, I'll come back to you and see if there are other things I didn't ask you about that you want to cover. But
yeah.
My last official question for you is, as you look around the community, what makes you optimistic that, as someone who grew up here, that we're headed in a positive direction as a community?
Oh, yeah. So, there is just so much like life. I think about like the first thing that comes to mind is like the farmer's market. The quality of the vendors, the effort, the hard work of everybody that's out there is really inspiring to me. I wake up at 5 a.m. I head over to the Andress and I get all my stuff loaded up in my truck and I am like, groggy. I'm not a super early morning person. And then I pull into the parking lot and it's like we're all in this together. Everybody's out there. We're all setting up. We're all giving it our best for the customers that come. That's really inspiring. And then at 7:30, it's early. Who's going to wake up at 7:30 and come to the farmer's market to shop and support these small businesses? Well, as soon as 7:30 opens and the gate opens, there's life. There's just people everywhere at this farmer's market. And, I encourage everybody to come visit the farmer's market. You can go to every table other than mine. I'm not saying that from a place of self-promotion. It's just a great atmosphere. So many great small business owners, so many amazing customers with a community mindset that want to come and shop and support small businesses. There's all kinds of stuff there. Baked goods, produce, jewelry makers, art, handmade soap, our candles, other candles, flowers, and then you've got food trucks, live music, and then there's mimosas once a month. A little bit of everything out there at the farmer's market. If you can get up early, I know that can be a tough sell for some, but it's really inspiring.
And it goes until, I think, noon or 11 or something. You
can roll up at 11:30. You'll be safe. It closes at 12:30. Pretty promptly at 12:30. I think everybody is. This was a hot summer, man. So right when 12:30 dings, people are shutting it down. But yeah, that's something that really gives me optimism. I would also say, people always look at the youth and say the future is bright. There's just so many great community organizations that are enriching the youth in our community. I think about, again, I feel like I'm on here talking a lot about Well-Fed and their efforts. There's the organization, the Common Ground organization. But our community improves the more that we invest in it. And I think that there is definitely a lot of big things happening in Shreveport from a economic perspective, creating more jobs and things like that. But, whenever people are community minded and are being intentional about making Shreveport better, that's how Shreveport gets better. And I think that nowadays, a lot of people with the economic potential to make investments in the community and to invest in our downtown and, just things like that, I think are big ones that really have me feeling really good about my decision to move back here. One of my big drivers for moving back to Shreveport, this is where my mom is, and I wanted to move back and help her whenever I had the opportunity. But two, coming to Shreveport in 2017, I got to see this emerging young entrepreneurial ecosystem that I won't say wasn't here before, but that wasn't as pronounced as it was in 2017. It really made me feel like I wanted to be a part of it. I'm thinking of, Louder Baking Company, Great Raft Brewing, the Agora Borealis, Well-Fed, Fatty Arbuckles. You've got guys and ladies, my age, little older, a little younger, just out there doing great things and going after entrepreneurship. It made me feel like I had a place amongst them to try and develop and aspire to be great like they are. And so you look nowadays and there's even more ships rising. The tide's been very gracious and very blessed to be a part of that, man. And it's just something that, I tell people, people sometimes ask me, well, what's next for you? Like, are you you should move out of Shreveport? Oh, I hear that a lot. Oh, your business would be great in Houston. Oh, your business would be great in California, Atlanta. There's a lot of suggestions for me about how my business could be great elsewhere, right? And, my response to that is, well, sure. I'm not opposed to having a market in Houston. I'm not opposed to having a market in Nashville. But, I chose Shreveport for a reason. And, my work here isn't done. And whenever there's an opportunity to expand to another market, I'll do that. But I like the idea of having my home base and my footprint be in Shreveport. So that time will come when it comes.
I love that. Is there anything else I didn't ask? Because you're very multifaceted. There's a lot I could cover. Is there anything else that's important to you or that we didn't cover today that you want to mention or talk about? We have all the time in the world. So yeah. And if not, that's completely fine too.
I don't think there's anything that jumps out to me directly. I just want to say that it's been a great opportunity to get here and speak with you. I've looked at the lineup and I just saw so many great names of previous podcasts, people that, you've interviewed from this community. And it's just a great honor to be included amongst the list of those other wonderful individuals, man. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you, Ben, and look forward to the future ahead. It's great visiting with you, great learning more about you, and I know very big we won't even say big, just wonderful things are ahead, and you have such a great spirit. So
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
You being here.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.